Well, once again, welcome to Pennsylvania on a drizzly November morning as the Thanksgiving season is about to come around. So I thought I would quickly wrap up a video to show you some updates that we're working on that really overlap with Global 14 and Global Empires. And I thought I would start by showing you a game that is about halfway in progress for Global Empires, and really just enjoy these new markers that Doug has been putting out for IPPs. Haven't come out with the Ottoman one yet and have not shown us the Vichy, but I do like the detail and just the difference that you see in the markers and kind of set your game apart. So with that, I thought I would talk through some updates that we're making with Global 14 that will have an impact on Global Empires. And for that, I will swing over to the map. Just come around. Hopefully you're not getting dizzy from the quick survey of the game. Now I'm pretty excited because we're going to have some folks in here at the beginning of January, and there is the potential we're either going to play Global 14s with updated rules, or we are going to look at playing Global Empires. I'm a little bit biased with Global Empires, but let me start by explaining a couple things. So first of all, with Global Empires, and I'll post this in Discord if anybody wants it, but I worked through the oil expansion just to determine how compatible it was, and was able to come up with some rules that will help you adapt the oil wars expansion to Global Empires, and found it's very compatible. While oil was a consideration, it was not a constraint, but certainly, once again, it is going to be a fight for resources. Having control over countries such as Romania, or down here, as you see in the Middle East, certainly the Dutch East Empire, and quite frankly, parts of South and North America have an advantage. Now, let's talk about Global 14 and their updated rules. So I think the first thing most people will notice is, while we already had commanders in the Global Empires game, we are looking at adding commanders into Global 14. Commanders are aided with their command and control capability by either aircraft or cavalry or torpedo boat destroyers. Some unit has to aid them in understanding the battlefield so that they can be effectively employed. One of the things about commanders, especially in World War I, is that there were lots of commanders in those various empires. A lot of aristocracy believed that they should have the privilege of leading soldiers to war. It was also a prestige for them, and many times you had excessive number of commanders for the organizations you have, and they weren't always very good commanders. So there's a mechanism that determines whether that commander is considered an effective commander. Are they supported by industrial resources? Are they supported by either aircraft or cavalry, even camel corps or torpedo boat destroyers at sea? Some unit has to enable the commander to be effective at their role, and they do have to be resourced by a major factory in your home country. It's just a means of controlling the number of commanders that you have that are capable of performing their command and control role. And it also leads to some level of fog of war. In a board game, it's hard to achieve fog of war, but when you have, let's say, 4 commanders on the board, but only 2 undamaged factories, only 2 of those commanders could be effective for the calendar turn, and that would be the player's choice for Germany or Britain, France, etc., and lend some mystery to the game as the player determines who is the effective commander. Some other things related to factories, we determined that artillery was way too prolific in an unconstrained environment, and in order to recognize that artillery demands were significant in World War I, causing great damage to the artillery. If enough ammunition was available, they would actually damage their artillery by firing so many rounds, or just having to stockpile ammunition for months and months in advance in order to have the capability to perform those major offensive support roles. So the number of artillery you're able to produce or receive in Lend-Lease is based on the number of major factories. So if you're Italy, you're no longer going to see stacks of, say, 10, 20 artillery in northern Italy because everybody's sending one for Lend-Lease. They're only going to be able to produce or receive 1 a year. And I believe that constraint will also be very healthy for the game. Another addition, and one of the reasons I pulled the Germans around here, you can see trucks. We believe that truck-supported infantry or by towing artillery, trucks will add a level of offensive capability to the early World War I portion of the game, and we are looking at how they could be effectively brought into the game, but without overpowering it. And we believe we've already been able to strike a very good balance in that. And so look forward to the addition of trucks. Airships, there will be an increase in the number of airships. And in this game, this is Global Empires, but in Global 14 games, you will see more airships for Italy, Britain, France, and of course Germany, as they have Zeppelins, and a few additional rules related to those airships. So we're looking forward to how that has changed the game, but it's also much more historically accurate. So those are just a few of the proposals that are taking place as we look at updating Global 14. Expect that to be somewhat early in 2026, and near simultaneously with those updates to Global 14, we will also update Global Empires based on both the Global 14 changes as well as the questions and comments that I've gotten from you, the players out there, with some of the things within Global Empires that you had questions about. One great suggestion that I received was the addition of more competitive objectives that would be available to everyone. So anybody who's played Global Empires knows that each nation has secret national objectives. Sometimes those national objectives are easy to discern. I mean, each nation only has 3 potential secret objectives. So as you see, for example, Russia making a move to take over portions of the Ottoman territories and Romania and Bulgaria, it's very easy to discern, oh, okay, the Russians are going for Black Sea supremacy, so they want to own the territories surrounding the Black Sea. Not an easy objective, but starting to shape up to determine what it is. Then there are secret random objectives. Again, they start to, while some countries can share in those random objectives, they start to become self-evident, and you can work towards keeping your enemy from achieving those objectives. So then we came up with 5 more competitive objectives. One of them is making friends, the alliance that has 5 minor powers aligned through diplomacy. The first power that does that, or the first power that is the last to declare war, or the first power that is able to possess an enemy capital. For example, the Germans in this game have taken Vienna and Western Hungary, so they have taken their enemy capital first, so they'll get an additional victory point for that. The first nation to cause the surrender of 10 major or minor powers. Interesting enough, in this game, we're seeing that the Russians are taking the lead on that objective. Of course, we haven't finished this game, so we don't know if that'll happen, but those are just some examples of some of the competitive objectives that we've added to Global Empires. There are some other fun additions to the game. I don't want to give them all away, but we will continue to work through those. So hopefully you're enjoying your game time during this holiday season, and if I don't post another video, have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas.